Hello YouTube and welcome to a new video. We're going to continue with the tactical solving here. It's been a while since I've made a new video for you guys on YouTube, and the reason for that is basically because I've had to move out of my previous apartment and moved back home to my hometown. So as you can see, there's been no attempts today, or for the past 2 weeks that is. We've attempted at 402 puzzles as of now, and I've passed 346 of them and failed at 56, which leaves us at almost a 15% of a losing streak there. That's not good, not good at all. So we're gonna start off by trying our best to get our rating back on track. So our starting rating is 2123, and we'll see if that changes for better or worse. We'll see. So black just played queen to a5, stopping the check, and right now what do we play? It would be ideal if our queen was on, let's say, g4. Then we could play queen to c4 check, and after b5 we would take on a5 with another check, and after king captures a5 I mean, then queen captures c7 would be a possible solution, even winning the b7 bishop and the rook in the corner there, but that is not possible. But what if we just take the queen immediately? What happens then? Because after rook captures a5, pawn captures a5, what are black's options? White is probably wanting to play something like king to a4, and after bishop captures c8 we have queen b5, which is a mate, so black can't really capture on c8 then. But after rook captures a5, pawn captures a5, king a4, and then c6, what do we play there? Well, we still have queen captures a5 then, and that is too a checkmate. What about bishop to c6 instead? Well, that's not possible, right? So I'm thinking that should work out quite nicely. Just checking for any other things that black could do, but rook captures a5, pawn captures a5, king a4. If king b6, then queen b5 is mate. Bishop captures c8, queen b5 checkmate. I don't really see where we can go wrong there, so let's do that. And problem solved. Okay. That's quite a high rating for this puzzle right here. 2419. I know you guys can't see more than the passing rate there, but yeah, the passing rate of 50% is quite low actually for those who have actually managed to get to this puzzle, because if you have such a high rating and you can't solve this, then there's something wrong. And probably most of you guys would say the same thing to all of those puzzles that I have been missing out on myself, so I shouldn't really tell anyone otherwise or say that anyone who has failed at this is not good. But it was kind of obvious. Okay, next one. Queen to b7. Alright, so we could try to go for a mate here, but the problem is we don't have the e8 square for our rook because of the bishop on c6. So I was thinking queen h5 check, king g1, queen h2 check, king to f1, and then rook e8, mate to follow, or so to speak. But that's not going to happen. But queen h5 check, king g1, bishop to h2 check. The king doesn't want to move back to h1 because then we have bishop to g3 check, I believe. I believe that is a good move. Bishop g3 check, king back to g1, queen h2 check, king to f1. Maybe it still works for white there, actually. So queen h5 check, king g1, bishop h2 check, king h1. Or king f1 immediately. I don't see where I'm going from there. So maybe it's not something about a check. Maybe rook b8 is a good way to try to improve our position. But the fact is that we're just trading down pieces, right? Rook b8 and then queen b8 check. That's a problem. What we could do though is play queen h5 check first, in which the king would have to move to g1 and then play rook to b8. Then the queen would kind of have to take on b8. Otherwise this rook will be hanging for free, and also mate is unavoidable, I guess. So queen h5 check, king g1, rook b8, queen captures b8 check, bishop captures b8, rook captures b8 check, king h7, then d6. But we're threatening mate on d1, so d6 is not possible. So after rook captures b8 check, king h7, the rook has to go back to b1, it seems. But it's still really hard to get anywhere from there without either a bishop or a rook. Yeah, it's kind of hard. But what if I play queen h5 check, king g1, queen h2 check, king f1, and then rook to b8? That seems very promising. Because then our queen on h2 is also safeguarding the b8 square. That is definitely going to lose the rook for white. Okay, we're going to go through that one more time, but it looks so good though. So queen h5 check, king g1, queen h2 check, king f1, rook b8, and again he's going to lose his rook if he doesn't give up his queen, but giving up his queen we take with the bishop, and if the rook captures we take with the queen. I don't see how that's gonna be defendable, so let's go ahead and do that, and problem solved. Okay, nice one. So by looking through this tactic right here, I managed to spot this rook b8 move, but I didn't find the correct solution at first because I didn't have enough compensation after the queen sacrificed itself for the rook and the bishop, right? Because of this d5 pawn. It's going to be really hard for that black queen alone to really safeguard everything from both the pawn, the rook, and the bishop. Like this queen can't do that much at the same time. But after finding the first check, then finding the next one, that was crucial. Queen h2 check was the only right solution there. Queen h2. There's no other way. And the passing rate of this is 30.1%. And the target time is 37 seconds. Wow. Yeah. But I'm really slow at these. Very, very slow. Okay, let's go to the next one. A2. Okay. So what is going on here? We're going to try to force the black king to either step into the a1, h8 diagonal and then play h7, or we're going to have to check the black king so many times that we're actually threatening to capture the pawn or stay alert for the a1 square. It seems kind of impossible, but I bet there's something here. So if you play h7 right away, he's definitely going to play a1 queen. Then we have knight e6 and knight h3. Both of them are checks, and I don't really want to consider other moves than checks in that position. Or we have any check right now as well. Let's say knight e6 check first, then king f3, knight d4 check. So that's not possible because we're going to land on b3. So knight e6 check, if king to e3, also trying to guard the other pawn from getting to f4, f3, f2, and queening on f1. Then maybe we still have knight to d4. Because after knight d4, if a1 queen, then we have knight to c2 check, forking the king and the queen. And if it takes on d4, then we play h7, and if a1 queen then h8 equals queen check, and we win the queen on a1. So that looks really promising. Knight e6, if king to e3. Trying to step away from that, another check there. Any other moves to consider? I guess not. After knight to e6, king e5, then we have knight d4 anyways. So I don't think I really have to consider knight h3 that much, because it goes away from the pawn and it doesn't have any of these diagonally squares from a1 to h8 available from h3. So knight e6 check looks really good. Yeah, let's go for it. And still, we can play that move. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. I love it. Oh, that is such a beautiful move to find, and it works out beautifully. And if you find this in your own game, then wow, you will certainly become a strong player. Like, seeing this in a tactical puzzle is one thing, because now you kind of know that there's something here. But in a real game, you don't really know if there's a tactic or not. That's why you have to calculate things, and that's why it's so important to actually solve these puzzles, so that once something like this occur in a game, then you stay alert. You know what the thematics are. Like, it's so important to have a great memory when you try to solve these. Basically because the intuition is a memory feat. Okay, next one. Bishop b3, alright. If we could get rid of the b3 bishop, then we would have a mate. Then we would have a mate indeed. So right now I'm almost thinking about rook to b2, but after rook captures b2, that's not possible, because rook d1 is still not a threat because of the bishop, of course. Another thing to consider, at least, is rook captures f2. But I don't see where that is leading after king captures f2, rook to d2 check. Let's say king e1, rook captures h2. No. I don't see it. And there's too many pawns to actually try for any Like if we were rook down, for instance, try any stalemate tricks, but there's too many pawns here, and also the material is equal. We don't want a stalemate in this position. We don't want a draw. Other options might be rook from 7 to d3, or rook 2 to d3, but still I think rook 7 to d3 is preferable, just because then the bishop can't go to c2, and if it moves away then we simply have rook d1 check leading to mate. And this pawn here kind of stops the bishop from moving further on this diagonal from d1 to a4. And our pawn on c7 really stops this rook from safeguarding that bishop again. So that if we then play rook d3, if he had the chance to play rook b6, then if we took on b3, then he could take back with the 6th rank rook right there. But since he has to take with that rook, then after he takes back, we have rook d1 mate. So I'm thinking rook 7 to d3 is actually possible here. And there's no checks available for white. So after rook 7 to d3, maybe white can play f4. f4 might be a good move. That might stop things. I say might because I'm not sure. So after f4, rook captures b3, rook captures b3, rook d1 check, king f2. If then rook f1 check, then king e2, and I don't think we have anything there. But after rook 7 to d3, f4, what if we just take on f3? Like en passant take. Is that possible? E captures f3, threatening to play f2 check, and promoting in a couple of moves, after we take the bishop of course. That might be a good alternative. So after e captures f3, then rook to f1 doesn't solve anything. Yeah, I think we're gonna go for that. So he actually plays rook to c6. Okay. So now we're going to have to play rook captures b3. And then he's going to play rook 6 to c1, I'm guessing. Or rook captures c7 first. And then we have a choice of king f8, king f6, king d6 or king d8. That is too many options for me to handle right now. Really? All of them seems like... Okay, king f8 or king d8 seems like they should work. Because, yeah. The bishop is guarding the c8 square as well. Okay, let's take. Alright, now that's just silly. But okay. But I was more concerned about, instead of rook c6 and f4, but after e captures f3, I don't think there's going to be any problems. But after rook to c6, like, we take, and if he takes here, then king to d8, and white has an option of going back to c1, taking the pawn and getting mated, taking the rook and getting mated, or playing f4 and still getting mated and losing the rook at the same time. So yeah, kind of probably the computer says that that's the best move, but practically, well, nah. I would have definitely tried f4 versus a human opponent at least. Queen captures d2. So immediately you're starting to look at checks, right? Because they are the most forcing moves. So let's say rook b7 check, bishop captures b7. But after c7 or c captures b7, there's nothing to do from there on. So I'm guessing that's not it. We could try to play c7 right away. And my guess is that black will then play queen to c2. Trying to just play d2 and d1 another queen. But there's a problem, isn't it? Because after c7, if the queen moves anywhere, then we have knight to c6 check. So after c7, the bishop would have to go to b7. Otherwise, like black would get checkmated on b8 from our rook after the knight is on c6. So c7, bishop b7. Then knight c6 check anyways. Because if the bishop captures, then c8 equals queen. And we're winning. And after knight c6 check, king h8, king a8. What do we play there? That's a good question. If we take on b7, again, king captures b7 and we don't have the c8 square guarded by our knight or anything else. c7, bishop b7, knight c6 check, king a8. And note that king b8 is not legal because the c7 pawn is guarding b8. So king a8 and what? Just c8 equals queen. Oh my god. And after bishop captures c8, then rook b8 is mate. Wow. Okay, I like it. Okay, he takes. I like it. Ah! Oh, no, man. No. We're getting mated ourselves. No. That is terrible. But well deserved. I should have taken a knight. Should definitely have taken a knight there. But okay, let's redo that and get a knight. Yep. Okay, so he goes there instead. Then we have a draw. Okay, that is just silly. But of course, I was impatient there. I was just impatient. I thought that black has nothing here. But actually black is threatening queen g2 check. And after king h4, then queen h2 is mate. So we have to be aware of our surroundings as well. Probably. And this is rated 2462 and has a target time of 1 minute and 9 seconds. Okay. I don't understand because down here it says 9 seconds. Okay, I'm just gonna What? Then why does it say 9 seconds? Oh, because maybe I did that the second time. Maybe I solved it in 9 seconds the second time, of course. Yeah. That's it. Okay, next one. I really enjoyed that one, by the way. I really did. Quite nice. And yeah, it's starting to be a bit late here in Norway right now. I think it's like almost 12 o'clock a.m. or 12 p.m. No, 12 a.m. If it was p.m. then 11:59 would suffice, but 12 a.m. Okay. It's midnight, pretty much. So knight g4 check. King f3. Doesn't work. For black, I mean. I have no way of safeguarding this pawn's promotion. What I could do though is play bishop c5 check. King f3. Bishop g1. King f3 is not possible. Yeah. So bishop c5 check. King f4. Bishop g1. That seems really good because the king can't approach. And we're ready to promote on the next move. I'm gonna do that. Yeah, problem solved. Knight e2. That almost looks like a free bishop if I could chase away that queen somehow. So let's say I play knight to h5. Then the queen would have two options. Queen e3 or queen a2, queen h2. If it moves anywhere else, I'm just going to capture it. So knight h5, queen e3, then bishop g5, I guess. Bishop g5 and then f4. Bishop captures f4. Knight captures f4. Okay, so that's a problem maybe. So after bishop g5, f4. Maybe I even should play bishop h4 or something else. Okay, I'm really confused about this. Wow. Knight h5. If queen a3 to safeguard the bishop on d3. Then bishop g5. The queen is under attack, so the only way to prevent the queen from falling is by playing f4. And if we then take on f4 with our bishop, what then? Knight captures f4. Then knight captures f4 back. Queen captures f4. Yeah, and then knight captures d3 check is a fork, of course. Okay. Really? Really? Okay. Okay, yeah, we're just winning a pawn there. Aren't we? We're simply winning a pawn. Because after knight captures back on f4. I think the bishop could move back to f1. Safeguarding from g2. I like knight captures g2 is a threat there. But bishop f1 saves that. And we're not threatening to capture on d3. And all we've won is the f4 pawn. Okay. So we're going to have to play knight captures f4 first. That is nice. That is really nice. I like it. And it makes so much sense once you see that. Wow. So bishop g5 and f4. And you shouldn't just come with the threat of an immediate capture of the queen. Come with the threat of knight captures g2 instead, because that's such a more powerful threat, because you're also threatening on d3 at the same time. So white is forced to capture there, and after bishop captures f4, then the queen has to react. I like it. I like it so much. Wow. Knight g4. Okay. So I think we're down a full rook here. That's not good. So if queen d6 check, then king f2. What am I talking about? King c2. And then knight h. Again, I'm confused by the numbers and letters. Knight a3 check. Maybe not even knight a3. Do I even really have to give a check right away? What about queen c6 here? Maybe rook c1. Yeah, rook c1 just kills that. So queen d6, king f2, king c2. Oh my god. Queen d6, king c2. So if king c4, what then? Probably knight a3 anyways. Or maybe even queen to c6 then. Queen c6 and then after queen b. Yeah, so queen d6 check. If king either c2 or c4, then queen c6 check. And if the king goes to b1, we have knight c3 check, winning the queen for a knight and a rook. And if king b2, then queen to c3 check, leads to a mate. I like it. I like it. But let's double check, just to not lose too many rating points here. I'm trying to gain them, not lose them, of course. So queen d6 check. Only possible two solutions are king c2 or king c4. Either way, queen c6. Then if the king moved to c2 and then queen c6, then king to d2, queen c3 is mate. And if king to b3, queen c3 check, king a4, probably queen a3 check, king captures b5, and then queen a6 mate. I like it. Okay. So are we going for queen c3 or knight c3? I'm curious to see what happens after queen c3 actually. Because after queen c3, queen c1, knight a3 check, queen captures a3, queen captures a3. His pieces are kind of uncoordinated, right? instead of knight c3 check immediately, I like both ideas. That's the problem. Knight c3 check, king b2, knight captures d1 check, rook a captures d1, it's really slow for black. It's really slow. I could maybe also insert queen e4 check. That doesn't do much. That does not do much. What about knight a3 right away? Knight a3, king b2. Nothing there. Nothing at all. This is so confusing because queen c3 wins the queen too. Aha, maybe not, because after queen c3 there is a4. So queen c3, a4, then I don't have knight a3 due to the fact that the rook could capture on a3. Okay, so knight c3 seems like it's the only solution here. Yeah. That's good. Thank you very much indeed. Okay. I don't deserve this 2126 rating. I really don't. Okay, next one. C captures b5. So here we're in a pawn and king, or king and pawn endgame, in which we need to have the opposition. And the distant opposition. So, where do we go? If we play king e3, then he might play king e7. Then if we move forward, either way, either f4, e4, or d4, then black has the opposition. So we should not do that. What if we play king to d3? Well, black can play king d7. And black has the opposition, the distant opposition. So maybe we should play king e2 or c2. I'm preferring e2. Then black has to respond. If black moves forward to let's say e7, then we can play king e3. If black then plays king e6, d6 or f6, then we play either king to d4, e4 or f4. And we have the opposition. What if after king e2, king d8? Well, then we play king f3. And if king f8, then king d3. Yeah. Okay, so it goes right into the center. Well, not into the center, of course, but yeah. King e7. So after king e3, king e6, king e4, the black king has to sidestep to one square. Okay, this... it kind of makes it too easy for us. But now is the question though. Should we go to d5 or should we continue with king f4? Forcing the king either to go back and try to guard this pawn, or go back and then we can go king to g5 and winning this pawn. So if we go king d5, then king f5, king c5, king g4, king captures b5, king captures h4, king c4, king, let's say g4 to stay away from any checks. Then b5, h4, b6, h3, b7, h2, b8 queen, h1 queen, and it's going to be a draw. So I'm going to go for this move. And now our king is much closer to this pawn than his king is to this pawn, right? So we're one square further. His king is one square further away. That means that we should be able to queen first and also win. So let's calculate that line. King g5, king d5, king h5, king c4, and now king to g5. Where was I? I just lost track. Okay, king g5, king d5, king captures h5, king c4, king g5. Yeah, it's just winning. There's no need to calculate that, actually. Yeah, problem solved. Like, the king has too many squares before it can capture on b4. Because it's our move and the black king is too far away. Yeah. But the distant opposition, guys, is something that you really should know about. And if you don't know what it is, you can check out one of my videos. I think I've covered that somehow in one of my endgame studies or endgame drills sessions. Or you can check out, just search for distant opposition on YouTube, Google, or anywhere else, and you'll probably find it. Even on chess.com, I bet they have several videos or drills or puzzles about that. Okay, next one. King to g8. So it would be nice to actually play f7 check first, but after king g7, we can't move anything, because then we're gonna lose everything. That's my saying. Yeah. If we play f7, we can't move anything, or else we lose everything. Indeed. So what about rook h7? It's not like black threatens anything, right? Rook h7 stops him from playing rook. King to g7 wants to play f7 check. So after rook h7, the only way to probably try to continue is knight to d8. Maybe. But then rook g7 is kind of a nasty threat for black. Yeah. Oh, knight e5. Didn't even consider that. But I think I think the same goes for that. So rook g7 check. If king f8. Huh. Really? No, I can simply play f7 here. f7 check, knight captures, rook captures. Yeah, the d pawn shouldn't be a problem to stop. We're a piece up, although we're a pawn down. Yeah. I don't see how rook g7 is going to accomplish anything here. Okay, problem solved. Yay. Next one. A captures b2. And knight and rook versus 3 passed pawns. That is almost insane. But rook captures h2 comes with check, of course. Then after e2, We don't have another check. We don't. It's a b2 pawn that really scares me. Like, it doesn't seem like I can stop it. Of course there is, because this is a puzzle, but still. Or maybe I could trick myself into a stalemate. But I would very much rather win this if I were white. 2 pawns for a rook and a knight shouldn't be enough to win, even here. Well, of course it could happen in this kind of position. But it's a lot of compensation for 2 pawns. Black has here. Rook captures h2, check e2. Really? Okay, rook captures h2, e2. Only move. If it doesn't block, then I think I have time to actually play. Like if king to c1, or king d1 or e1, then I have time to play rook h1, check, and force the black king away from this pawn. Or if king captures c2, then we're going back to h2. And then we can capture on h2 and play king to d3 after the king captures back on b2. So e2 is kind of a must. I do believe that. Yes. So rook captures h2, check, e2, then what? I mean, we could try c3 after b1 queen. Rook captures e2, check, king captures e2. Or if king d1 and rook e1, check, and then the king would have to take. But we still have this knight and this pawn. And we have the c5 square available. So we're not drawing there at all. We're not stalemating ourselves. And that's kind of lucky for us, because this is a position I would rather win than stalemate. Of course, it's you would always like to win over getting a draw, right? But still, if my opponent asked me if I wanted a draw here, I would really, really consider all the possibilities. So, what are the possibilities? Rook captures h2, e2. And I'm out of ideas already. Like, a knight on c7 is so bad. It doesn't help to chase that b2 pawn with our king either, because it's one step too far. Rook captures h2, check, e2. If rook h1, then e1 equals queen, and rook captures e1, king captures e1, and still the b2 pawn will promote on the next move. Rook captures h2, e2, rook h3, e1 queen, rook d3 check, king e2, or b1 queen, rook d3 check, king e1. Yeah, there's nothing there either. Probably you guys can see it already, and I'm just I'm just such a stupid person. But I don't see the solution right now. Rook captures h2, e2. Like, it either has to come with this check first, or we should move the knight somewhere, but I don't see where we're going to put it. Like, nowhere where we put the knight is actually going to threaten the king or the b1 square. And those are the two critical squares that I want to attack, b2 and d2. I want to keep an eye on b1 because I don't want him to queen. And if I could check him, that means that comes with a tempo. But after rook captures h2, e2 would give black a tempo for free. And we don't want that, so that's why I'm more and more in the favor of playing something else than rook captures h2 immediately. Just finding out what that is. Of course, I could play c3 immediately, but then he has e2. That is a problem, e2. Because if b1 queen, then I can play queen, rook captures h2 check. And after king c1, rook h1 check, king captures, well, just king c2, rook captures b1, king captures b1, then king to d3 yet again. So I have to find a way for myself to get black to have to guard the b2 pawn and me checking on h2 without him playing e2, if that is possible. So c3 might be one way of doing that. But after c3, e2, again, there's no freaking way I can do that after e2. e2 is always the problem. Always. It's so frustrating. I've been at this puzzle for 8 minutes now. Rook captures h2 check, e2. What if I play d5? d5 doesn't help. Does not help at all. After b1 equals queen, then he's threatening to play h1 equals queen as well. So then I would have to take on h2 and then then just pawn captures d5. Knight captures d5. Yeah. Or even queen captures c2. Oh man. There is definitely something I'm missing here. Definitely. What possibilities have I not thought about yet? Playing the rook to another square, but I have to safeguard the h1 square as well. So this pawn is kind of forcing the rook to stay alert on h5. Again, rook captures h2, e2. If then d5, pawn captures d5, knight captures d5. b1 equals queen, and we're toast. So d5 is not possible. Okay, I give up. If rook captures h2 is wrong, then okay, it's not. So e2. Now I don't give up, because now I kind of know the first move, then I just need to figure out the rest, right? Because that's so easy, apparently. I feel so bad. I don't think I've ever used up so much time on one puzzle before, like ever, on chess.com. Okay, probably, but not on a YouTube video, I think. I do not believe that I have. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. I might have. But it feels like this is the most that I've ever spent on one single puzzle before. Rook captures e2, king captures e2. Not possible. We can't stop the b2 pawn there. Or can we? No, no, no. No, we can't. What about knight e6, b1 queen? Rook captures e2 check, king captures e2. Knight f4 check. King back to d2, knight d3. Queen captures c2 check. Yeah, there's nothing. Oh man. United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, and Ecuador, Chile, Brazil, Costa Rica, Belize, Nicaragua, Bermuda, Bahamas, Tobago, San Juan, Paraguay, Uruguay, Suriname, Africano, Barbados, and Guam. Oh man. So now I'm thinking about knight a6, b1 queen, rook captures e2, king captures e2, knight b4. But there's nothing there. Nothing. Knight b4, then probably simply just queen b2. Arg, as they would say if there were a cartoon. Arg. Or if I was a cartoon protagonist or antagonist or just a figure. What about knight e6? Still nothing. Rook h1, e1 queen, rook captures e1, king captures e1, knight e6, b1 queen, knight f5. What am I talking about? Knight f4, of course. But still, no. Could play knight c5, but then queen captures c2. Knight e4, same thing. Queen captures c2. Knight f4, queen captures c2. No. I want to give up. I want to give up so bad. But I want to get it right as well. That's something I love about chess, because when you're solving puzzles like this, there is just one right answer in most cases. And it is just a challenge for your brain to really figure it out. And again, you guys have already seen it, I bet. Norway and Sweden and Netherlands, Finland and Germany now in one piece. Switzerland, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Italy, Turkey and Greece. There's Poland, Romania, Scotland, Albania, Ireland, Russia, Oman. Rook captures e2, king captures e2, c3, b1, queen, knight e6. Or if the knight just stays there, then d5. Then queen d3 check. No. No, no, no. Knight a6, b1 queen, knight b4. Then he can't queen another pawn because that's pinned. And our knight on b4 is guarding from queen b5 check and queen a2 or queen takes c2 check. So where does the queen go from there? Queen b2. And then he's threatening queen c3. Like, getting our knight to b4 is the only possibility to actually safeguard the c2 pawn at least. Yeah. But after queen b2, white is kind of in zugzwang because queen c3 is a really big threat. We can't play c3 ourselves because of queen captures c3, and we can't play rook captures e2, king captures e2. Or can we? Rook captures e2, king captures e2, c3 then. And from there on, where does the queen go? The king moves back to d2 maybe? Then we don't have a check. Okay, let's just play this. Wow. Wow. It actually is the solution. Okay, if this is rated lower than 2000, I'm gonna end this video right after this puzzle. Again, knight a6 seems like it's the only way. d5 does not work, I think. d5, b1 queen. Then d6, queen captures c2 check. King d4. Maybe that actually works. Because the pawn can't take on d5 due to knight captures d5, and if b1 queen, then knight to c3, forking the king and the queen. So after d5, b1 queen, d6, queen captures c2, king d4, queen d3 check, king e5. Okay, we're gonna go for it. Okay, we failed. So what is it then? Knight a6? Nope. Of course, we tried d5 already. c3. Nope. Okay, let's just look at the solution. Knight d5. Oh man. I like it, although it's... That king c3 move was really, really not in my thinking there. Okay, so I used 15 minutes on that to actually not getting it right either. But it was rated 2538. But still, king c3 is such an illogical move to make. But it's such a nice move to make. Wow, okay. Let's continue. Rook captures f1 check. Do we capture with the rook, or the bishop, or the king? If we capture with the rook, then what are we threatening? Are we threatening anything there? Well, no. No, we're not. If bishop captures f1, then d or queen captures e6. And we're not threatening anything there either. If king captures f1, then d captures e6. Or knight captures c4 actually. Just knight captures c4. So we're kind of forced to capture with the rook, aren't we? Rook captures f1, knight captures c4. Queen f7 check, queen captures f7, pawn captures f7, king f8. Or am I missing something there? After queen f7 check, queen captures f7, rook captures f7, pawn captures e6. Nope. That's not working. Like, we could simply take with the bishop and be happy about that. But it is so passive. Like, we're not losing there, but we're not winning either, I think. So again, rook captures f1, knight captures c4. If e captures d7, bishop captures d7. What the freaking fruck is going on? Rook captures f1, knight captures c4. That's how far I get. Rook f7, queen captures e6. Then rook f8 is nothing. Rook captures g7 maybe? Rook captures g7, king captures g7. But bishop h6 is not a possibility because queen captures h6. Oh man. Man, oh man. So maybe bishop captures f1 is the only possibility here. Just getting away from the attack on the bishop. It is so passive. Rook captures f4, knight captures c4, queen f7 check, queen captures f7. If rook captures f7, then d captures e6. Out of the question. Even knight captures d2 there is possible. I'm gonna have to go for bishop captures f1. No. Okay. Really? What is going on? What is actually going on? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Maybe I just should retire from chess entirely. Okay, g captures f6. That wasn't actually hard to spot either. It's just my thought process that went really horribly wrong. As always. So what do we do here? I don't think knight e6 is a good idea. Just because of king f7. I don't see where we're going from there. Knight e4 check is a possibility. Then king f7 still. Then queen h5 check, king g7, or knight to g6. If knight to g6, then queen h7 check, king to e8, queen captures g6 check, king d8, yeah, knight e4 looks more promising than knight e6. I don't see any other way to continue either. Knight e4 check, king f7, queen h5 check, knight g6, king h7, queen h7 check, king e8, queen captures g6 check, king d8. And then what do we play? Knight captures f6. A possible solution. Yeah. That actually works, it seems. Really? Wow, okay. Then why? Why are you having such a fun time with me? Okay. What? Oh, of course. Wow, okay. So now we're losing all our rating points. B captures a4. So this is probably going to be the last puzzle. Okay, no, it's not. We're going to have to continue a bit more. So c7, rook g8, Knight c6, check. King d6, f7, rook f8. Or knight c4 check. Actually, f7 might be better, because then you don't give the g8 square to the rook. So f7, rook f5, and then c7. What is wrong with king a3? I don't see what's wrong with king a3. Yeah. So bishop h3. Then knight c6 check. If king to d6. Then knight e7. King captures c7. So probably knight c4 is better. Just because it doesn't allow king d6. So after knight c4, king e6, and then we can promote, so that's not possible either. And if king f6, we promote that. Okay, knight c4 looks like a good choice. And if knight c4, king d5, we can continue to check on e3. And if the king then moves to d6, we play knight to f5. If the bishop captures, we promote the f pawn. If the rook captures, we promote the c pawn. And if the king captures c7, we just promote. Okay. Yeah, either way, I think this works quite nicely. Yeah. Okay. Cool. h6. Is it a loose piece somewhere for black? No. Can we make a loose piece here for black? Probably yes, with queen d3. Queen d3, if f4, then we take on e6. If queen d3, g6, we still take on e6. And if the pawn captures back, then queen captures g6, leads to mate. Is it really that simple? Really? It can't be. Well, it looks like it. Queen d3. He has to guard from the mate somehow. And rook e8 doesn't do anything. So g6 is the only move other than f5. f5 loses to rook captures e6. g6 loses to rook captures e6 anyways, because the pawn can't capture back. Okay. Problem solved. That one was really easy. Queen c5. Where do we put our king? Probably on h2. The problem is though that after king h2, knight f3 check, pawn captures f3, queen f2 check, king h1, knight g3 is mate. So after king h2, knight f3 check, king... Yeah, it doesn't work. Or does it? Like king f1 leads to knight g3 check. That is just a mate. What about king h1 first, then knight g3, then king h2? Does that work? Because if then knight to f3 check, we can take on g3. And if knight captures e1, then we take back with our rook. And we're a bishop up. Yeah, I'm gonna go for that. Okay, problem solved. Kind of a weird puzzle there. But finding the right move order is critical in many lines and many positions. So it's probably a good puzzle, although one could disagree. Let's continue. Rook to g8. Okay. I want to play knight captures e7 so bad. Knight captures e7, knight captures e7. Queen to h7. But after queen to h7, then rook g6. No. Yeah, rook g6. Because if we play queen h8, then bishop to f8. Okay. What if we simply play bishop captures h6? Doesn't lead to anything though. So knight captures e7. Bishop can't afford to actually capture on f4. I think. Then we take the rook on g8 with check. No, that's not possible. So he has to capture back. And then we could capture on h6. Or even play d6, threatening if bishop captures f4, rook captures e7. Winning the queen. Okay, let's go for that. I think d6 is winning. We could also look at rook captures e7 immediately. Queen captures, queen a4 check. If king f8, then bishop captures h6, so king to d8. Then there's nothing. Okay, d6, bishop captures f4, rook captures e7 check, queen captures, pawn captures. Bishop to d6. Queen e4. Or even rook e1 first, yeah. Okay. Problem solved. Yay. G4. And yes, this video is gonna be a bit long. My apologies for that. But it's been such a long time since I've made a YouTube video. So I really enjoy this. And I'm in the mood for some tactical solving right now. That's why we're going to continue a couple of more puzzles. So we could play knight to g5 check, forking the king and the rook. Knight g5 check. Do we have something better though? What about knight c5 check? Doesn't that force black to play king d6 and rook f6? Isn't that mate? I think so. Knight c5 check. Only move king d6, rook f6. Yeah. Okay. Problem solved. Queen captures d7. That I said that with a patronizing voice, like queen captures d7. Why are you doing that? I have no idea. So it would be nice if that rook wasn't there, then we could play knight to d6. But we could probably do that anyways, couldn't we? Knight d6. If the queen captures, then rook e8 leads to mate. So the queen can't really capture there. And we're still threatening rook e8. Check. Rook captures e8, pawn captures e8, queen captures e8, knight captures e8, yeah. I like it. He actually takes, okay. Problem solved. So if he didn't take, if he had to play another move, let's say pawn to h6 or pawn to b4, like black is in zugzwang here. He doesn't have anything to do. He could play queen c6. Let's say queen c6. Then still rook to e8 check. Rook captures e8. Pawn captures e8 check. Only move queen captures e8. Then knight captures e8. King captures e8 is illegal. So probably queen captures e8 actually, and then mate is inevitable. Yeah. Wow. Okay, knight d5. It would be nice to just capture on c1 if I had a good follow-up for that, but I don't. I think. Well, I could trade pieces though. Queen captures c1, queen captures c1, rook c4 check. Queen captures c4, knight captures c4, but doesn't lead to anything other than some captures and recaptures. What about b4? The knight can't capture, of course, and the queen has to stay on the c file. And the only squares available are queen c3 and queen to c7. If queen c3, Queen c3. What then? b4, Queen c3. If knight e4, knight captures e4, rook captures e4. Doesn't do much. I could play Queen d2 immediately, but that too doesn't do much. I could play b3, but again, not doing much. I want to kick that rook or queen away so that I can either pin the queen or win the rook. Oh my god, knight to d3. Was I missing that all along? Knight to d3. Wow, okay, so knight to d3 is a possibility here. What does black play after that? Like, he's gonna lose a piece anyways. Wow. Such a weird move and such a strong move and such an invisible move. I did not see knight d3. Wow. Interesting. Queen h8. Okay. So which way is the winning way? Rook captures c2 check, king e3, queen e5 check, king d3, queen c3 is mate. Rook captures c2. The only other move is king d3 immediately, but then queen c3 is mate. Okay. Looks as if that's just a winning line there. Oh my god, the rook! Man! So eager to play, so eager to play. Oh my goodness. Wow. That is just terrible. Okay. That really was just a disaster move. Queen e5, that's a bullet move, guys. That's something you pre-move, not something you play in a real game. Please don't play that. Ever. King captures h2. Rook h8 check. Two possibilities, king g3 or king g2. If king g3, then queen g5 check. Or even rook h3 check. If rook h3 check, then king g2 anyways. So rook h8, king g2 right away. Is that what you're saying? Then bishop to h3 check. Then king to g3. Oh man. Nice. Queen g5 immediately, maybe. And rook g3. Rook h8. Check, king g2. queen h4. No. Rook h8 check, king g2. Bishop h3 check, king g3. Queen g5 check, king f2, queen g2 check, king e3. And then queen g5 check. Then the king goes back to f2. Oh man. Could also play queen h6 right away. Queen h6 check, king g2, queen h3 is not possible, so rook g8 check. Rook g3 is then not possible due to queen h3, so king to f2, only move. And then what? Maybe just queen h6 check after the king moves rook to d2. Okay. Nope. Okay. Really? Is that the forcing line? Is that really forcing? Rook h8 check, king g3. Rook g8 check. Yeah. I guess it is. So just bringing your rook back to g8 is a solution. I like it. I like it. King captures c3. Okay. So bishop d2 check, king d4, bishop e3 check, king back to c3. If we would then take the queen on b6, so that's stalemate. So after king to c3 again, we're gonna have to be more creative than that. Bishop d2 check, king d4. Bishop e3 check, king back to c3. Huh. Bishop d2 check, king d4. What if we play c3 check first? But then the king can't really capture on c3 and our bishop is guarding that and not attacking the queen. But I think bishop d2 is the only possible solution to this position. Bishop d2, king d4. Bishop e3 check. King back to c3. Then maybe knight to c7. No, not knight. Not knight to c7, knight to b4. We're attacking the queen, and if the queen tries to take the knight, then bishop back to d2 check wins the queen, and we have the f pawn rolling down the board. And if the queen tries to go somewhere else, then knight to a2 is mate, or knight to d5. Yes, we're going to do that. Problem solved. Yeah. I like it. So the trick for black was to actually just try to go back to c3. Because if we take the queen, as I stated earlier, it's actually stalemate. That's a really awkward stalemate to be in for white in this case. Continue. Although you are material down, so realistically you could have gone for the draw as well, of course. Okay. Queen f4 or queen e7. Queen f4 is more appealing to me because we win the rook, but he has queen g2 threat. So probably queen e7, then king g6. King g6, and then what? Rook e6? Maybe bishop d4 is actually a good move. Maybe. Just because if the king moves, we can take on g7, and if king to f5, then there's mate. No, it's not mate, but we're winning the queen. So bishop d4, queen has to capture on d4, and then queen to e7 check. Bishop d4 seems like the only move. Bishop d4, queen captures d4. Then we can't play queen e5 there either. And queen f4 is off limits due to the fact that the queen is on d4. So queen e7 is the only move there. Then king to g6, and then queen captures f8. A possible solution. And if queen back to d5, then we can play f3. Yeah. Or we could play rook to e4. But we could play rook e4 after queen e7 anyways though. So queen e7, king g6, rook e4. But then queen captures d3 maybe? Yeah. Queen captures d3 might be a problem. So bishop d4, queen captures d4, queen e7, check, king g6, queen captures f8. But this bishop is really annoying though. Really annoying. Queen e7 check, king g6, rook e4. Queen captures d3. King h2 doesn't lead anywhere. No, we have to play bishop d4. Yeah. I think this is the only continuation. Yeah, problem solved. Although kind of hard to spot because you feel like there should be more, but as a matter of fact, black has his own threats, right? And the h7 square is so secure for black's king if it gets there. Or from g6, the h7 square is still really well achievable because black always has bishop back to f5 and also safeguarding that square, and also e6 if the rook ever wants to go there. So yeah, let's continue our So I'm immediately thinking about either knight g5 or knight f2 check. Knight f2 check seems to me the most promising move because the king has to move up to h4. If the rook were to capture that, then rook h6 is actually mate. So knight f2 check, king h4. Then maybe, just maybe, we could play a queen somewhere. No, we would have to give a check there, probably. So rook h6 check, king g5. Then knight h3 check, king captures f5, queen f8 check, king e5. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Okay, problem solved. I guess there's multiple solutions to this after this rook h6 move. Or maybe after king to g5. There's not really much else to do than to play either knight h3 or queen f8. But queen f8 meets queen d8. That's the problem. But king g5, knight h3, check, king captures f5. Is it that simple though? What am I missing here? So after king g5, I don't see the mate. I really want to see the mate. I'm going to go ahead and start up this right here. Mate in 3, rook h5 check, okay. King captures h5, and then queen e8 check. Queen f3 check, okay. So queen e8 actually leads to a draw. That is fun. That is fun indeed. Now, if king g5, then queen to g4 is mate. If king h4, then queen g4 is mate. And if g4, queen captures g4 is still mate. But queen f3, wow. I like it. I hope you guys could see that actually. Yes, you could. That's nice. Okay, let's continue. f3, threatening to mate us. Alright. Then we should probably come with some threats of our own. shouldn't we? So knight captures b6 check, pawn captures b6. Is that working? No. What about... What about queen c8 check? Bishop captures c8. Knight d7 check. Knight c7 check, I mean. And then the problem is king b8. But then knight to c6 check. King b7. Knight d8 check. King c8. c8 is occupied, of course. So is that actually a mate? Queen c8 check, bishop captures c8, knight c7 check, king b8, knight c6 check, king b7. And if king b7 right away, I think we have a6 check first. Then after the king moves to b8, then we have knight back to c6 check. Mate? Yeah, this is actually a mate. What? What? Oh, that is just a drawn. Oh. I can't play knight to d8, of course. That feels so bad. That actually feels very, very bad. So what do I play instead? Just b5, then mate, a6 check, then king captures c6. Are you freaking serious? Does that actually work? b5 mate. Oh my god. Wow. That deserves a slow clap. Yes, indeed. Okay, next one. Bishop f5. Okay. So where do I put my pieces? Plural. Do I simply play bishop to d6? If rook captures, knight captures, queen captures, then c4. Nah, c4 isn't possible because of queen c5. Okay. What about queen h4? Black still has g7 after I sacrifice my queen. So I was thinking queen h4, let's say, for the sake of it, just b6. Then queen h7 check, king f8, and then queen h8 check. But after bishop captures, rook captures. No, that is actually a mate. Queen h4 is a mate, of course, if he doesn't do anything about h7. What am I talking about? The bishop is guarding f8. So queen h4 actually does seem to threaten something. Queen h4. Let's say f6 then. Queen h4, f6. Then queen h7 check, king f7, knight g5 is a mate. No, knight g5 is not a mate because f captures g5. Of course. Queen h4, f6, queen h7 check, king f7. I don't see it. After f6, what do we play? Or do we take? If knight captures f6, knight captures f6, rook captures d8, rook captures d8. Bishop c4 check, knight back to d5 or rook d5. Probably rook d5. Yeah, we can't take on f6. The knight on f6 is also guarding the h7 square. And after queen h4, of course, just knight back to f6 anyways. That doesn't work. Oh my god. I'm starting to get tired, apparently. Queen h4, f6. Queen h7, check, king f7. I don't see it. I do not see it. Oh my god. Is there something else to consider in this position? Let's say g4 right away, bishop captures e4, pawn captures e4, and there's nothing. The only real test for black here is queen h4, but after f6, again, I don't see it. But okay, let's play queen h4. If that's not the solution, then that's that. Okay. Let's try this, because that's always fun. Like, what? Let's click on hint. Rook sacrifices on d5. Really? And now this move, of course. Removal of the defender. Yeah. Solved with hint. Okay, the last one. Last one indeed. Queen f6. If we could play knight captures e5, winning that piece, that would be awesome. So knight captures e5. If the bishop captures on e2, then queen a4 check. Seems like it's just winning on the spot. So the bishop can't afford to actually capture on e2. So after knight captures e5, the queen or pawn would have to capture, or he could try queen h4 check, then g3, and the same thing happens. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty confident about that move. Okay, problem solved. So we've gained, I think, what was it? We started 2128, was it that? 2128 or 22. Actually unsure at the moment. But we've gained around 12 to 15 points. We've been down to 2107, I think, at some point here. And we've been up to 2146, was it? So overall, not a good session, but still. We managed to gain some points, and I've been not streaming, of course. I've been making this video for too damn long. So I'm gonna sign out right now. Leave it up to you guys to figure out the rest and try to solve some stuff on your own. Okay. See you guys. Bye. Oh, by the way, please comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see more of this, and check out my Twitch channel as well, Norwegian Chess Giant, and on Twitch. I try to stream as often as I possibly can, but right now it isn't that often. The reason? Well, the internet connection here really sucks. That's pretty much it. Not shit. That's pretty much it. Okay. See you guys. Bye.